All right, so President Trump's war on trans people continues. Before we get into the article I have here about his most recent executive order, I kind of want to go over some of his other executive actions regarding trans people, just to give you some perspective. So far, and this is just off the top of my head, there could definitely be stuff I missed. So, since he has taken office about 2.5 weeks ago, he has ended government support for gender affirming care. He has issued an executive order declaring that there are only two genders, male and female, transferring trans women to men's prisons, banning people who are trans from serving their country, removing the T and LGBTQ on government websites. I don't think they have Q on there. I'm not sure, but the T's gone. Banning gender ideology education, basically through threatening to pull funding from schools and universities that have anything like that, or any DEI, anything that even remotely resembles it. So, we're going to get into the article here. Stick around to the end because I'm going to give you my super right wing take on this. So we have U.S. President Donald Trump signs executive order banning transgender athletes from women's sports. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said the order honors the promise of Title IX and will prompt immediate enforcement against schools. President Donald Trump signed an executive order on Wednesday to ban transgender athletes from competing in girls' and women's sports, aligning with the administration's interpretation of Title IX. The Keeping Men Out of Women's Sports order grants federal agencies broad authority to enforce Title IX, requiring federally funded entities to adhere to the Trump administration's interpretation of sex as the gender assigned at birth. At the signing ceremony in the East Room, President Trump said, "With this executive order, the war on women's sports is over." Surrounded by lawmakers and female athletes, including former collegiate swimmer Riley Gaines, who have supported the ban, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said that the order honors the promise of Title IX and will prompt immediate enforcement actions against schools and athletic organizations that deny women access to single-sex sports and locker rooms. The order coincided with National Girls and Women in Sports Day and is the latest in a series of executive actions by the Republican president targeting transgender rights. Coincided with National Girls and Women in Sports Day? So is that a new thing he just declared? I thought you fucking people were against all these months and days for people. What the fuck are we doing? During his campaign, Trump found that the issue resonated beyond party lines, with more than half of AP VoteCast survey respondents believing support for transgender rights has gone too far. He leaned into the rhetoric before the election, vowing to end transgender insanity. Although his campaign offered few details, the order provides clear guidance authorizing the Education Department to penalize schools that permit transgender athletes to compete, citing violations of Title IX, which bans sex-based discrimination in schools. Schools found in noncompliance could face the risk of losing federal funding, the same as everything else. That's so fucked up, man. You have a president that can basically push whatever narrative he wants on schools and our education system because he can just simply revoke their funding if they don't follow. That's gross. Whether you agree with the all this DEI and trans stuff, whether you agree with that or not, that kind of power is scary. Enforcing Trump's orders will be a top priority for the embattled department. In a call this week, the acting director of the Office for Civil Rights instructed staff to align their investigations with Trump's priorities, according to sources who spoke anonymously to AP due to concerns of retaliation. Ahead of the 2028 Summer Olympics in Los Angeles, Trump also issued a stern warning to the International Olympic Committee. He stated that he had given the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, the task of informing the IOC that America categorically rejects transgender lunacy, adding, "We want them to change everything related to the Olympics concerning this absolutely ridiculous issue." Oh my God. What the fuck are we doing? All right. Yeah, trans rights might have gone a little too far, but don't you think you're going a little bit too far in the other direction? You are dehumanizing these people to a point where, like, I don't even feel hyperbolic in saying it's comparing to how fucking Hitler talked about like Jews and uh, gay people and any other group he didn't like back in fucking the 30s. Like, what are we doing? What the fuck? That's crazy. That is crazy. Whether you agree with trans people being in women's sports or not, just this whole concept around it that we're also going to fucking try to bully the Olympics. Oh my God. All right. So, my super right wing Republican take on this, it's going to surprise you. It probably surprised them. This is ridiculous, and the government should have no hands in this whatsoever. Like, talk about an issue that should be handled at the local level or by the organization or school, university, whatever, hosting said sporting event. Doesn't that sounds like something that should be dealt with on a local level, on a case by case basis, depending on the sport, the area, whatever. A million different factors. I thought you guys weren't for big government. This is the most big government shit over such a small issue that I've ever seen in my fucking life. Like, we are spending government resources on this just to make sure trans people can't be in fucking sports. You want to know a cool fact? Per the NCAA, there's only been, I cite the NCAA here because if you really make a big deal about this at a youth sport level, go fucking touch grass. Get a life. Like, what are you doing? Stop being so fucking hateful and transphobic for one fucking second. All right? There's been 10 reported cases by the NCAA of this happening. 10. And Republicans have turned it into such a big fucking issue so they can take a easy win on it and get so much fucking support and popularity and fucking soft hand jobs from every supporter. Meanwhile, we still have people starving on the fucking streets, like 70 to 80% of the country living paycheck to paycheck, fucking climate crisis like we've never seen before, abysmal healthcare. Like, what the fuck are we doing? Okay? Like, have I lost my mind? Am I the crazy one here? Tell me. Tell me. And let me be clear, all right? I'm not some advocate for trans women and to be able to participate in women's sports, all right? Yeah, in general, probably shouldn't. That is an unfair advantage. But is this something I would fucking do a government crackdown on and spend government resources on and put a law per the government? No, I'd let the fucking organizations and whoever's hosting it handle it. They're going as far as to fucking bully the Olympics and tell them how to host their shit. Like, what the fuck? People act like this is an epidemic, and it's so many small cases. These people will clap like seals and cheer this on when they've never even encountered this issue themselves. They just hear the fucking 1 to 10 cases of it that get overly blown up and overly reported and just use so we can use another scapegoat for your fucking problems. Like, what? So if you think that Donald Trump and Republicans just don't flat out fucking hate trans people, then I don't know what to tell you. Like, look at the other policies we talked about that he implemented and tell me that this dude just doesn't fucking hate trans people and kind of just wishes they didn't exist. Like, damn. Like, think about it. If you're supporting this in Donald Trump at this very moment, has ending the DEI boogeyman helped you? Is it going to help you? Can you tell me how it's going to help you? Can you tell me how the mass deportations of both illegal immigrants and legal immigrants helps you? Can you can you tell me how that lowers our grocery prices, increases your wages? Has this absolute assault on trans people, has this helped you? Has declaring there's only two genders, has that benefited you materially? Has Donald Trump rescinding Biden's executive order on the drug price cap so that drug prices can now go way back up? Has him rescinding that order, has that helped you? So, yeah, thanks, Don. Thanks. Thank you for fixing my health care. Thank you for lowering my grocery prices. Thank you for improving my wages. Thank you for addressing climate change. Thank you for addressing the housing crisis. Thank you for addressing homelessness. Thank you. Because you're doing so much. No. All he's done is fucking NDEI, set up the biggest mass deportation frameworking ever, and a huge assault on trans rights. Like, if your political awakening and the main thing in politics that you care about is ending DEI, mass deporting a bunch of people, and abolishing trans rights, if that's your awakening, your ideology, then fuck you. All right? Fuck you. All right? And don't be a coward. Tell me why it's so important to you in the comment section down below. But you won't, because you can't. Because if you sit there and just try to rationalize it, you might realize how fucking stupid this all is. All right. That's all I have on this topic. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and I will see you in the next one. If you made it to this point in the video, I just want to give a special thank you. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button down below. And if you really enjoyed it, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button while you're down there. I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. I will try to reply to any and all comments that I can. Until next time, watch that video on screen.